say when's the best time for you to make a video or to be creative, I suppose, is the...
Yeah, I suppose the initial idea was that for you to have something in your mind where you're going, I've got to take 2 minutes out of my day to enable me to do that. And like mindfulness and, you know, giving you that strategy, but completely understand that it doesn't work for everybody. And it's actually, it's not 2 minutes though, because you've got maybe 5 minutes. Huh?
Yeah, you have to read the mission, to get ready for it. And
yeah. Am I going to use watercolors? Am I going to use pencils? You know, so it takes probably 20 minutes out of your day in actual fact. Did you find that, Patrick?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Actually, thinking about it, gearing yourself up for it. Yeah. I found that I had to go to the studio to do it as well.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Let's move on to question 2.
So, yes. Aggravated or annoyed?
Nice.
Looking good.
That was tough. Did you at any point get aggravated, annoyed at drawing for 7 weeks? So, I mean, there's something about, I do think that the WhatsApp group worked for me better than, there was also that kind of 10-day project.
Yeah, the Instagram one. Yeah, what did you think? Yeah, that's a good comparison actually, Neil. What did you think of that one compared to this one and the one last year, which was the 10-week one?
I mean, I felt obliged. I mean, it's the same kind of. I mainly felt obliged because of the people who were also posting.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's the same community. So then I don't feel like I've, you know, it did bring people back to thinking that I'm doing, you know, that I have a practice which is more related to painting and drawing, because in the last few years I've done anything but those things.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, my practice is more performative and event kind of organized. So most people that knew me as an artist in Israel, for example, or on Instagram, know me as a, you know, doing these performances, and all of a sudden there was this element that, you know, I was bringing my skill, my kind of drawing and painting skills into kind of appearance, and it made me draw more. But I think in terms of the group and what it does to the group, there's something that I feel more community and the WhatsApp group than in Instagram.
I suppose I was interested to ask whether this is a performance or this is a drawing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have an opinion on that? I'd like to know from outside people, actually. Anthony, Abby, did you have an opinion on whether you think it's a performance or a...
What, the whole project, Ollie?
Yeah.
It seems like kind of a hybrid between the two, because it's more about the practice of what you're doing, probably than the actual output of the drawings each day. It's kind of the act of doing this as a kind of routine and sharing it. So, I mean, that seems like the important part of it more so than the actual product of drawings. So I would say more performance, or yeah, more in that category at least, though it's not a perfect fit when you view it as a whole. But you could also view it not as a whole, and the little kind of aspects that make up the whole thing with the drawings each day, and then, you know, yeah, so it'd be a hybrid for me, I would say. But I think the part that seems important to me is more the practice of doing it, which is performance.
I'm actually leaning towards saying that it's more the art and less of a performance, just because as I understand it, the actual acts of drawing weren't documented, right? Am I correct in that? That a lot of people like put up like videos of themselves drawing, or actually walking around the studio?
Yeah, that was something that changed in this one from previous ones, because this one had involved a lot of people actually documenting the action. which was
Okay.
interesting. And I think it was because the first one was just one word.
Okay.
This one was an instruction. So there was some sort of an engagement into kind of making that also performative in a way. And I think some people took it to just kind of, the result was a residue of a performance. And some people wanted to kind of exhibit the performance itself as well. And I think that's kind of also what maybe I don't know if you thought of it in advance or not, but the whole videos and film thing kind of grew up from that moment where we realized there was a performative element from that.
Definitely.
But I don't think it was intentional. I think it was kind of how an instruction was asking you to do something that was interesting as well, sometimes more than the result itself.
Do you think of it as a performance, Nir? The whole thing.
The whole thing. I mean, I don't know if it's. I think it's a lot of it is about the like anything in art is like the intention of how you define it. So I think it grew to be a performance, and it grew to have a performative element in it. But I don't know if people were. I think maybe I experienced some of the videos as performance because I felt like all of a sudden there was an intention of documenting yourself doing something. So you were wanting to show not what you've done, but how you've done it. So then it became a performance, but it also became a video work because it wasn't live. Now that we've gone from being word orientated to task orientated, that can even become more performative if it goes live. Imagine, there's a live event when people are actually giving instruction rather than a word and responding to the word. So, you have all of a sudden the house becomes a set or the studio or whatever to perform that kind of task.
Because it has this whole thing of preparation behind it and then getting ready for the 2-minute action. So, and often I found myself preparing or photographing or documenting something. So this is also again a conversation of what is the work, what is the documentation, and what is the work. This is also something that we often discuss when it comes to performance. So is it a photograph? Is it the work, or is it the drawing the work? Is it the whole time when you're doing the work, the actual work? Is it the outcome? Is it this? Is it the chat? Is it this meeting? And and goes on, I think.
Oh, hi everyone.
Don't forget, Maria, you came late, but you've got to do a 2-minute drawing while we're doing the Zoom, okay?
Cambia lo superficial, cambia
Oh,
okay.
There's a lot of fingers in that.
yes, sausage fingers. I was always told that I have sausage fingers, and it came before me. The sausages. Hey, Oli, good one.
Nice.
Obsessed with your statistics. Ollie, you've got the statistics, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to find.
It does feel you belong into something. Even when I was not making, I was like feeling, there was this thing that was happening in my phone and was happening in my conscious and was happening. And I think, that was really interesting how easy you are become part of something, a group. And I think it's if it's by aspiration and not by making, that was what interesting. I was committed to this by aspiration because regardless of the fact that I wasn't drawing, I was also committed to give an instruction. And that one made it really really committed, I think. And also kind of with the first one, that was that thing that made it committed. You were committed to a word, but you were committed to responding to all the words at the same time. So these two commitments is kind of like, you know, it gives a sense of responsibility to the group, which is beyond the making. You know, you're like, everyone is understanding your limit. Everyone understands your limitation in responding to it, but no one can take away responsibility from actually giving instructions. So I think that's what really makes it, you know, strong. I think it ties people into, you know, you're committed to this, whether you're making or not making. You need to kind of, we give instruction, and so are you. You're part of this. You know, your thought of what we should do is as important as what we give.
Who gave the instruction to draw the meeting? I don't remember who it was, but I actually took it seriously, and there you go. So I did 3, and it looks nothing like any of you guys. But then
but that's Patrick. We can all see Patrick there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And then came that thing to draw Paloma. So I worked that in there.
Amazing.
Nice.
I wanted to ask, what is more transformative for you guys in terms of making or looking at artworks? Which one's more transformative? Because there was an element of looking and an element of...
Usually when you're looking at things, you're getting inspired also on the way of making it, in some sort of way. It was more in a way, it worked even more in a different way, like giving you a lot of inspiration, but also motive and different aspects and different points of views and humor and different kind of humor and interaction with that. So it was very, very multi-layered in a way. So looking, it wasn't like only looking. It was very, it had lots of meanings for me and inspired the making in a different way.
Something that Ermak would draw. That's like, Ermak was really into that kind of, he was into those thoughts of like, you know, like what else can I learn about my practice through what people are doing? And I think that was like, you know,
that included who's your daddy?
But he was, I feel like his attention was he was really curious in what he can learn about his practice from other people. I think, and that kind of if I kind of go back and put his questions and instruction, I always thought it was kind of things that interest him in his own practice, and he would draw from drawing something to him. It was like using that other meaning of draw to.
I mean, I mostly do music, and for me, making it is definitely much more transformative, right? Because it's I feel it's much more of a first-hand experience of the work. You know it, so to speak, from the inside out.
Yeah, I would also say that making artwork is more transformative. Of course, I'm going to be influenced by or inspired by seeing other works, but going through the process of that, like problem solving to figure out how I want to express something, yeah, I find that more impactful for me, or transformative.
You know, so I think it really interesting if we use this platform, you know, to maybe experiment with that, what it means to make exactly the same thing from each other. I don't know. I think Ermak kind of experimented with it, but.
So what is the question? How could we improve the collaboration element of these projects? So, but then I really appreciated the whole thing, how it evolved. So I think whoever commits in that really has found some things that worked and can can appreciate all this connection, I think, and communication. Question.
Was there any question or instruction that kind of got your interest, that you were like, yes, I love that one?
Oh yeah, there were a lot, but I can't remember anything right now. Wait.